What if this message did not come to you by accident? What if this did not appear in front of you just to fill a quiet moment or to give your mind one more thing to hear? What if this reached you today because some part of you was ready to slow down, ready to breathe, ready to remember that life is not against you? What if the universe has been trying to get your attention in soft little ways, and this is one of them? Not a loud sign, not a scary sign, not something that pushes you into fear, but a gentle call, a quiet tap on the heart, a reminder that says, stop for a moment, come back. Listen closely. You are being guided more than you know. Maybe you have been asking for a sign. Maybe you have been asking in silence without even saying the words out loud. Maybe you have been waking up with questions in your heart. Maybe you have been trying to understand why something happened, why something ended, why something did not come, why someone changed, why a door closed, why your heart feels tired, or why your life feels different now. And maybe, deep inside, you have been asking, what am I supposed to do next? If this message reached you today, it may not be here to give you the whole answer all at once. It may be here to help you become quiet enough to hear the next small answer. That is often how guidance works. It does not always give the full road. It gives the next step. So before your mind starts running, before you try to guess what this means, before you make this another thing to understand, just pause. Let the words come to you slowly. Let them meet the part of you that has been tired from carrying too much. You do not have to solve everything in this moment. You do not have to know why every person acted the way they acted. You do not have to know how every dream will happen. You do not have to know when the door will open. You do not have to know how the universe will arrange the pieces. Right now, your only job is to breathe and listen. Not with fear, not with pressure, not with the tight feeling of needing answers right now. Listen with a soft heart. There are times in life when the universe does not shout. It whispers. It sends a quiet feeling. It sends a word at the right time. It sends a delay that later becomes protection. It sends a closed door that later becomes mercy. It sends a pause when you wanted movement. It sends silence when you wanted proof. It sends a little message like this and places it in your path, not to confuse you, but to bring you back to peace. And if you are here now, hearing these words, then take that as a gentle invitation to stop fighting the moment you are in. You may not understand it yet, but that does not mean it has no meaning. You may not see the way yet, but that does not mean there is no way. Sometimes the mind says, if I do not understand, I am lost. But the heart knows something deeper. The heart knows that not understanding is not the same as being abandoned. Not having the full answer is not the same as being forgotten. Waiting is not the same as being denied. Silence is not always empty. Sometimes silence is where life is preparing something. Sometimes silence is where your spirit is learning to hear again. Sometimes silence is not a wall. It is a room where you are being asked to sit with yourself and remember what is true. You are safe enough to breathe. You are loved even when life feels unclear. You are guided even when the signs are small. This message may have reached you during a day when your mind feels heavy. Maybe you clicked because something in the title touched a quiet part of you. Maybe you did not even know why you stopped. Maybe you only felt, I need to hear this. Trust that small pull. The soul often knows before the mind understands. The heart often feels the right place before the mind can explain it. There are things in life that do not arrive with big proof. They arrive with a feeling, a calm little yes, a small sense of relief, a breath that becomes easier, a sentence that feels like it was meant for you. If that happens here, do not push it away. Let it be simple. Let it be enough. You may have been looking for a huge sign, something bright and clear, something that leaves no doubt. But the universe often speaks through simple things. A message, a song, a repeated number, a quiet dream, a sudden thought, a kind word, a feeling in the chest, a change in your energy, a strong need to rest, a soft desire to let something go, a moment when you suddenly feel, I cannot keep living the same way. These are not small things. They are often the first little knocks on the door of your spirit. They are life saying, pay attention. Something in you is ready to change. And maybe that is why this reached you today. Not because you are broken, not because you are behind, not because you failed, but because you are ready to return to yourself in a deeper way. You are ready to stop running from your own heart. You are ready to stop asking every outside thing to prove your worth. You are ready to stop chasing what keeps moving away from you. You are ready to stop forcing doors that make you feel small. You are ready to stop treating fear like it is the voice of truth. You are ready to hear the quiet voice inside that says, there is another way, a softer way, a peaceful way, a guided way. Take these words slowly. What is meant for your peace will not require you to destroy yourself. What is meant for your growth will not ask you to hate who you are. What is meant for your path may stretch you, but it will also lead you back to truth. Sometimes the universe calls you by making the old road feel too tight. Sometimes it calls you by removing what you kept holding. Sometimes it calls you by letting you feel tired of the same pain. Sometimes it calls you through a deep feeling that says, this is not where I belong anymore. And even though that feeling can be scary, it can also be sacred. It means something in you still knows there is more. If this message reached you today, perhaps it is not here to tell you to rush. It is here to tell you to listen closely, not to the noise of fear, not to the voice that says you are late, not to the voice that says everyone else is ahead. not to the voice that says you must force things or lose them. Listen beneath all of that. There is a quieter voice. It does not shame you. It does not scare you. It does not push you into panic. It speaks with calm power. It says, come back to your breath. Come back to your body. Come back to the present moment. The next step will appear when you stop fighting the place where you are. This is important because many people ask the universe for guidance, but they stay so tense that they cannot receive it. They ask for peace while feeding fear all day. They ask for a sign while looking only for what is wrong. They ask for love while rejecting their own heart. They ask for a new life while still holding the old pain like it is their identity. This is not a reason to blame yourself. It is only a reason to wake up gently. You do not have to fight yourself into healing. You can become aware. You can soften. You can choose again. The universe is not asking you to be perfect before it helps you. It is asking you to be open. So let this first part be a soft opening in you. Let it be a small space where hope can enter again. You may have been disappointed before. You may have trusted and then felt hurt. You may have prayed and felt like nothing changed. You may have waited and wondered if life heard you at all. But listen closely. Sometimes life answers by changing the timing. Sometimes life answers by changing your desire. Sometimes life answers by changing your strength. Sometimes life answers by showing you what you no longer need. Sometimes life answers by closing the door you begged to keep open because it knows there is no peace behind it. You may not see that now, but one day you may look back and whisper, that was guidance too. The universe may be calling you through the very place where you feel confused. It may be calling you through the question that will not leave you alone. It may be calling you through the ache in your chest. It may be calling you through your tiredness. It may be calling you through your need for something real. It may be calling you through this small moment right now. And the call is not to become afraid. The call is to become present. The call is to return to the part of you that still trusts, even if trust feels small today. A small trust is still trust. A small breath is still a beginning. A small step is still movement. A small yes to peace can change the direction of your whole day. Say softly inside yourself, I am willing to listen. You do not have to say, I know everything. You do not have to say, I am no longer afraid. You do not have to say, I understand why everything happened. Just say, I am willing to listen. That is enough. Willingness opens the door. Willingness is the little crack where light enters. Willingness tells life, I may not know how to trust fully yet, but I am ready to stop closing myself. And when you become willing, something begins to shift. Not always loudly, not always all at once, but gently, deeply, quietly, the heart begins to unclench. Maybe you have been asking for guidance about love. Maybe you have been asking whether to stay, whether to leave, whether to wait, whether to speak, whether to stop giving your energy away. Maybe you have been asking about work, money, health, family, healing, or your future. Whatever the question is, bring it into this moment without fear. Do not throw it at the universe like a demand. Hold it gently, like a child holding a small bird. Say, I do not know the answer yet, but I trust that the answer can come in peace. This matters because fear wants to grab the answer. Faith allows the answer to arrive. You are not being asked to ignore reality. You are not being asked to pretend everything is easy. You are not being asked to smile when your heart is hurting. Spiritual trust is not pretending. It is not saying pain is not pain. It is not saying loss does not matter. It is not saying you should accept less than love. Real trust says, this is hard, and still I am held. Real trust says, I do not understand, and still I can breathe. Real trust says, I am hurting, and still I will not abandon myself. Real trust says, I cannot see the whole way, but I can take the next gentle step. That may be why this reached you today. To remind you that you do not need to become hard just because life has been hard. You do not need to close your heart just because something disappointed you. You do not need to chase just because you fear losing. You do not need to control just because you feel unsafe. There is a different path. A path where you listen before reacting. A path where you breathe before deciding. A path where you trust the quiet feeling of peace more than the loud voice of panic. A path where you let the universe guide you, not by giving up your power, but by returning to your deepest truth. The message is simple, but deep. You are not alone in this moment. You are not walking through life without support. You are not outside the love of the universe. You are not forgotten because something is taking time. You are not rejected because something did not work. You are not lost because you cannot see the full map. You are being invited to come closer to yourself, closer to peace, closer to the quiet place where guidance can be heard. And maybe that is the real sign, not the outside event, not the perfect proof, but the way your heart softens when truth touches it. Let these words settle. Life may be speaking to you right now, not in a way that brings fear, not in a way that makes you rush, but in a way that says, slow down, listen closely. You are being called back to your center. You may have given too much power to worry. You may have spent too many nights trying to control what is not yours to control. You may have looked outside yourself for answers that can only become clear when you are quiet inside. But nothing is wasted. Even the worry can teach you. Even the waiting can shape you. Even the wrong turns can bring you closer to the right path when you are willing to learn. So receive this message as a small gift. Do not make it heavy. Do not turn it into pressure. Let it be soft. Let it be kind. Let it meet you where you are. You do not need to be in a perfect mood to receive guidance. You do not need to have a perfect heart. You do not need to be calm every second. You only need one honest moment where you say, I am here, I am listening, I am willing to be guided in peaceful ways. And that one honest moment can be enough for the light to enter. Before you try to understand what the universe is saying, let your body feel safe. This is where many people miss the message. They try to receive guidance while their whole body is tight. They try to make a clear choice while fear is running through them. They try to hear the quiet voice of wisdom while the mind is shouting. But guidance is gentle. It is easier to hear when the body is calm. So right now, before you ask for the answer, before you ask what the sign means, before you ask what will happen next, let your body know that this moment is safe enough. Take a slow breath. Let it be simple. You do not have to breathe in a perfect way. Just breathe a little deeper than before. Let your shoulders drop. Let your face soften. Let your hands relax. Let your stomach stop holding so tightly. Let the tongue rest. Let the chest open by even a small amount. You may not notice how much you have been holding until you begin to let go. Sometimes the body carries fear long after the moment has passed. Sometimes the body keeps waiting for danger, even when you are sitting in a quiet room. So speak to your body gently. Say, thank you for trying to protect me. But right now, we can soften. Your body listens to your inner voice. If your inner voice is harsh, the body stays on guard. If your inner voice is always rushing, the body believes there is danger. If your inner voice says, hurry, fix it, solve it, do not fail, do not lose, do not be left, the body becomes tired. It cannot rest because it feels responsible for the whole world. But when you speak with care, the body begins to trust you again. It begins to feel that it does not need to carry every question at once. It begins to understand that peace is possible even before the answer arrives. This is why calming the body is not a small thing. It is spiritual. It is healing. It is a way of telling yourself, I am not only a mind full of thoughts, I am a living soul inside a body that needs kindness. When you place a hand on your heart, that is not silly. When you breathe slowly, that is not weak. When you pause before reacting, that is not doing nothing. It is a powerful act. It is the moment you stop giving fear full control. It is the moment you say, I will not let panic be my guide. I will return to peace first. Many times, the universe is already speaking, but the body is too tense to feel it. A peaceful answer may come, but fear covers it. A quiet no may rise, but the need to please pushes it down. A gentle yes may appear, but doubt argues with it. A door may be closing for your good, but fear keeps trying to pull it back open. When the body is calm, you can feel the difference. You can feel what drains you and what strengthens you. You can feel what brings peace and what brings confusion. You can feel what is love and what is only attachment. You can feel what is guidance and what is fear wearing a spiritual mask. So give yourself permission to slow down. The world may teach you to rush. The world may say the faster you move, the more control you have. But your spirit does not always speak in a hurry. Your spirit speaks in the pause. Your spirit speaks when you stop chasing the answer and become open to receive it. Your spirit speaks when your breath returns. Your spirit speaks when your hands unclench. Your spirit speaks when you stop asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" and begin asking, "What is the next peaceful step?" Let your breath be the first prayer. You do not need perfect words. You do not need a long ritual. You do not need to prove that you are worthy of guidance. Breathe in and say, "I am here." Breathe out and say, "I release fear." Breathe in and say, "I am safe now." Breathe out and say, "I trust this moment." Do this slowly. Let each breath become a small return, not a return to the past, not a return to the person you used to be, a return to the truth inside you, the truth that you are more than this problem. You are more than this waiting. You are more than this sadness. You are more than this fear. Sometimes when you slow down, emotions may rise. That is okay. It does not mean you are doing it wrong. It may mean your body finally feels safe enough to show you what it has been holding. Tears may come. A deep breath may come. A memory may come. A feeling may move through the chest. Do not be afraid of this. Feelings are not here to destroy you. They are energy asking to move. You do not need to follow every feeling into a story. You do not need to believe every thought that comes with it. You can simply say, "This is a feeling. It is allowed to pass through me. I do not have to become it." Your body may have learned to grip because life taught you that you had to stay ready. Ready for disappointment. Ready for rejection. Ready for something to go wrong. Ready for someone to leave. Ready for a door to close. Ready for bad news. But maybe now life is teaching you something else. Maybe you can be ready for peace, ready for support, ready for a new answer, ready for help that arrives in a way you did not expect, ready for a softer life, ready for good things that do not require you to suffer first. Let your body learn that too. Let it learn that safety can be practiced. Relaxing does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you stop taking action. It does not mean you ignore what needs to be done. It means you stop doing everything from fear. It means you let your next action come from a calmer place. A calm action can be strong. A peaceful choice can still be clear. A soft heart can still have boundaries. Trust does not make you passive. Trust makes you centered. It helps you stop wasting energy on panic so you can use your energy for what truly matters. So right now, let yourself feel the ground beneath you. Notice that you are here, not in yesterday, not in tomorrow, not in the story your mind is making. Here, in this moment, breathing, listening, alive, supported by the chair, the floor, the air, this moment. Let that be enough for now. The mind may say, "But what about later?" Gently answer, "Later will come later. Right now, I return to peace." The mind may say, "But what if I lose what I want?" Gently answer, "What is meant for my peace will not require panic." The mind may say, "But I need to know." Gently answer, "I will know what I need to know when it is time." The body relaxes when it no longer feels forced to solve the whole future. Think about how heavy it is to carry tomorrow, next month, next year, and every possible outcome all at once. No wonder your heart feels tired. No wonder your mind feels full. No wonder your shoulders feel tight. You were not made to carry every possible future in your body. You were made to live this breath, this step, this moment. The universe does not ask you to hold the whole sky. It asks you to open your hands and receive the light that is here now. Place one hand on your heart if you can. Feel the warmth. Feel the beat. This heart has carried you through so much. It has loved, hoped, hurt, waited, broken, healed, and opened again. It has stayed with you through days you thought you could not pass. It has kept beating even when your mind was tired. So speak to it kindly. Say, "I am listening now. I am not leaving you. I am here." These words may seem simple, but the heart understands simple words. The heart does not need hard language. It needs truth. It needs presence. It needs your return. Now let the belly soften. Many people hold fear in the belly without knowing it. They grip as if holding themselves together. But you do not have to hold yourself together with tension. Let life hold you for a moment. Let the breath move lower. Let the body feel that it does not have to guard every day. You are allowed to rest while life is still unfolding. You are allowed to breathe while the answer is still coming. You are allowed to be kind to yourself while you are still learning. You are allowed to feel peace before everything is perfect. This is a powerful truth. Peace does not have to wait until the problem is gone. Peace can begin in the middle of the unknown. Peace can begin before the call comes. Peace can begin before the money arrives. Peace can begin before the apology is spoken. Peace can begin before the door opens. Peace can begin because you choose to stop fighting yourself. Peace can begin because you remember that your spirit is not owned by the situation. Peace can begin because you take one breath and say, even here, I can return to myself. Maybe your body has been asking for this pause. Maybe it has been asking through tiredness, through a tight chest, through headaches, through a heavy feeling, through the need to sleep, through the need to cry, through the need to be alone. The body often tells the truth before the mind is willing to hear it. So listen with care. Do not treat your body like a machine that must keep going no matter what. Treat it like a dear friend. Ask, what do you need from me right now? Maybe the answer is rest. Maybe water. Maybe silence. Maybe a walk. Maybe fewer words. Maybe a boundary. Maybe a softer thought. Maybe the answer is simply, please stop being so hard on me. A calm body makes room for a clear mind. When your nervous system is in fear, every small thing can look like a threat. A short message can feel like rejection. A delay can feel like disaster. A quiet day can feel like abandonment. A mistake can feel like the end. But when the body calms, the mind sees more clearly. It can say, this is only a moment. It can say, I do not know yet. It can say, let me wait before I decide. It can say, let me ask what peace would choose. This is why the pause matters. It changes the place you are choosing from. Do not rush past this part. Many people want the spiritual message, but they do not want to slow the body. They want the sign, but they do not want the silence. They want the guidance, but they do not want to pause long enough to feel. Yet the calm body is the doorway. The body is where you receive the feeling of peace. The body is where you sense the yes or the no. The body is where your heart opens. The body is where fear can be released, breath by breath. You cannot hate your body and hear your spirit clearly. You cannot ignore your body and expect peace to stay. Your body is part of your path. So say this gently, my body is allowed to relax. My heart is allowed to soften. My mind is allowed to rest. I do not need to force the answer. I am safe enough to listen. Repeat it slowly if you need to. Let each sentence land. Maybe one of them touches you more than the others. Stay there. Let it open something. You may feel a small shift, a little more air, a little less pressure, a little more space between you and the fear. That space is sacred. That space is where you remember you have a choice. See, the universe does not need you to be tense in order to guide you. You do not need to suffer to prove that you care. You do not need to panic to show that something matters. You do not need to worry in order to protect what you love. Worry is not devotion. Fear is not wisdom. Control is not safety. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is breathe, soften, and say, I trust that the next right thing can find me. This is not giving up. This is opening up. There may be a question in your heart right now. Let it be there. Do not push it away, but do not let it take over your whole body. Hold it lightly. Imagine placing the question in open hands, not clenched hands, open hands. Say, I offer this question to life. I am willing to receive the answer in the right way, at the right time. Feel the difference between gripping and offering. Gripping says, I must know now or I cannot be okay. Offering says, I would love to know, and I can still breathe while I wait. This is a deep shift. This is how trust begins. If your mind pulls you back into worry, do not fight it. Just return. Return to the breath. Return to the heart. Return to the body. Return again and again. This is the practice, not perfect calm, not perfect faith. Returning. Every time you return, you teach yourself that fear does not own you. Every time you return, you become more able to hear the quiet truth. Every time you return, you make a little more room for the universe to speak in a way you can feel. Let the body become a peaceful place for the message to land. Let the breath clear the noise. Let the heart open slowly. Let the mind stop trying to run ahead. You are here now. You are safe enough for this moment. You are not required to carry every answer. You are not required to understand the whole path. You are not required to decide from fear. You can wait until peace returns. You can wait until your body is softer. You can wait until the next step feels clean. Guidance does not disappear because you pause. Often, the pause is how guidance arrives. The universe is not always calling you towards something outside of you. Sometimes it is calling you back to yourself, back to your own heart, back to your own peace, back to the part of you that knows when something feels right and when something feels wrong. Back to the part of you that remembers you are not here to chase love, beg for worth, or force what keeps hurting you. Back to the soft inner place where you can hear truth without panic. If this reached you today, the call may be simple. Return to yourself. Many people think the universe will call them by giving them a clear sign about another person, a place, a job, a future event, or a big change. And sometimes, guidance does come that way. But often, the first call is inward. It says, come back to your center before you make the choice. Come back to your breath before you answer. Come back to your worth before you accept less than peace. Come back to your truth before you follow fear. This is because when you are far from yourself, even a good sign can be misunderstood. When what? You are filled with fear, you may mistake anxiety for guidance. When you are lonely, you may mistake attention for love. When you are tired, you may mistake pressure for purpose. So the universe calls you back to yourself first. To return to yourself means to stop leaving your own heart in order to be chosen. It means to stop saying yes when your whole body is asking for rest. It means to stop pretending something does not hurt when it does. It means to stop calling confusion love. It means to stop treating panic like a message from the universe. It means to stop asking every outside thing to tell you who you are. You are not the silence of another person. You are not the closed door. You are not the delay. You are not the mistake. You are not the old story. You are the soul who is learning, growing, healing, and being guided home. The call of the universe can feel like a deep need for quiet. Maybe you no longer want noise around you all the time. Maybe certain conversations feel too heavy. Maybe certain places drain you now. Maybe the things that used to distract you no longer work. Maybe you feel a strong pull to be alone, not because you are lost, but because your spirit wants to speak without being covered by outside voices. This can be a holy moment. Do not fear the quiet. The quiet is not always empty. Sometimes the quiet is where your own soul becomes clear. The universe may also call you back to yourself through discomfort. This does not mean the universe wants you to suffer. It means discomfort can show you where you have been away from your truth. When you keep saying yes but feel smaller each time, discomfort comes. When you keep chasing what does not choose you, discomfort comes. When you keep ignoring your body, discomfort comes. When you keep living from fear, discomfort comes. Not to punish you, to wake you, to say, this is not your peace, this is not your center, this is not the way you are meant to live. Listen closely to the places where your energy changes. Your body may know before your mind can explain. Notice what makes you feel open and what makes you shrink. Notice what brings peace and what brings tightness. Notice where you can breathe and where you feel like you must prove yourself. Notice where love feels calm and where love feels like fear. Notice where you feel respected and where you feel used. Notice where you are giving from joy and where you are giving because you are afraid to be left. These little notices are not random. They are part of the call. Returning to yourself does not mean you stop loving others. It does not mean you become cold. It does not mean you walk away from every hard thing. It means you stop leaving yourself behind while loving others. You can love and still have peace. You can care and still have a boundary. You can forgive and still choose distance. You can want something and still refuse to beg. You can be kind and still say no. You can trust the universe and still take wise action. Coming back to yourself is not selfish. It is the place from which real love becomes possible. There is a part of you that knows the truth. Maybe you have covered it with doubt. Maybe you have ignored it because the truth asked you to change. Maybe you have been afraid that if you listen to yourself, You will have to let go of something you wanted. But the truth inside you is not your enemy. It is a friend. It may be quiet, but it is steady. It does not scream. It does not shame. It does not beg. It simply waits for you to stop running. And when you finally listen, it often says what you already knew deep down. You deserve peace. You deserve honesty. You deserve to feel safe inside your own life. If this message reached you today, ask yourself gently, where have I been away from myself? Do not ask with blame. Ask with love. Maybe you have been away from yourself by worrying too much about what others think. Maybe you have been away from yourself by ignoring your needs. Maybe you have been away from yourself by holding on to something that keeps hurting you. Maybe you have been away from yourself by speaking harshly inside your own mind. Maybe you have been away from yourself by waiting for someone else to give you permission to be happy. Wherever it is, do not shame yourself. Just notice. Noticing is the first step home. The universe is calling you back to your own inner home. This home is not a place outside you. It is the quiet center inside where you can breathe. It is the feeling of being on your own side. It is the place where you do not have to perform. You do not have to explain your pain. You do not have to prove your worth. You do not have to be perfect to be loved. In this inner home, you can sit with yourself and say, I am here. I will not abandon myself again today. Maybe tomorrow you will need to say it again. That is okay. Healing is made of many returns. When you come back to yourself, guidance becomes easier to understand. You no longer ask from panic, how do I make this happen? You begin to ask from peace, what is right for my soul? You no longer ask, how do I make them choose me? You ask, why am I choosing a place where I do not feel chosen? You no longer ask, how do I force the door open? You ask, is this door even meant for my peace? These questions are different. They come from self-respect. They come from a heart that is waking up. They come from a soul that is ready to stop begging life and start trusting it. The universe may be calling you through repeated signs, but the signs are not meant to make you obsessed. A true sign brings you back to peace, not panic. A true sign does not make you lose yourself. A true sign does not ask you to wait in pain forever. A true sign does not make you ignore your own body. A true sign does not tell you to accept what breaks your spirit. Guidance may challenge you, but it will not ask you to abandon your worth. So listen not only to the sign, but to what the sign creates inside you. Does it bring calm truth, or does it feed fear? Does it open your heart, or does it make you chase? Does it help you return to yourself, or does it pull you farther away? Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop chasing a sign and look at what is already clear. If something keeps hurting you, that is information. If something keeps draining you, that is information. If your body tightens every time you think about it, that is information. If peace arrives when you imagine letting go, that is information. If your heart feels lighter when you stop forcing, that is information. The universe speaks through peace. It also speaks through the way your energy responds. You do not need to make everything mystical in order to understand it. Sometimes guidance is very simple. Returning to yourself also means returning to your own voice. How do you speak to yourself when no one is listening? Do you comfort yourself or do you criticize yourself? Do you support yourself or do you tear yourself down? Do you say, I am learning, or do you say, I always fail? Do you say, I am allowed to begin again, or do you say, it is too late for me? Your inner voice is part of your spiritual life. The universe can send love all day, but if your own voice keeps rejecting you, it becomes hard to receive. So begin there. Let your own words become softer. Let your own heart feel safe with you. Say to yourself, I am not lost. I am learning to listen. Say, I am not behind. I am moving in the rhythm of my soul. Say, I do not need to force what is meant for me. Say, I can trust the next step. These words are simple, but they carry light. They change the way your body feels. They change the way your mind listens. They change the way your heart opens. You do not have to believe them perfectly at first. Speak them anyway. Let them become seeds. A seed does not become a tree the moment it enters the soil. It grows quietly. Your trust can grow that way too. The call back to yourself may ask you to let go of old labels. Maybe you have called yourself unlucky for too long. Maybe you have called yourself too sensitive. Maybe you have called yourself hard to love. Maybe you have called yourself a failure because one chapter did not turn out the way you hoped. But the universe does not call you by your wounds. It calls you by your truth. It calls you whole. It calls you loved. It calls you worthy. It calls you guided. It calls you capable of a new beginning. And when you begin to answer that call, your life starts to change from the inside. You may wonder, how do I know the universe is calling me? You know by the way something inside you is tired of the old pain. You know by the way your heart keeps asking for peace. You know by the way certain words keep finding you. You know by the way you can no longer pretend that what hurts is good for you. You know by the way silence begins to feel more honest than noise. You know by the way your soul feels drawn to healing, even if your fear still wants the familiar. The call is not always loud, but it is steady. It keeps returning. It keeps saying, come home. Coming home to yourself is not one big moment. It is many small choices. Choosing not to check something that hurts you. Choosing to breathe before replying. Choosing to rest without guilt. Choosing to tell the truth to yourself. choosing to stop arguing with your own feelings, choosing to let go of what keeps proving it cannot hold you with care, choosing to trust that peace is not too much to ask for. These choices may look small, but they are sacred. Each one tells your soul, I am listening now. And when you listen, the next step becomes clearer. Not always easy. Clear. There is a difference. Sometimes the clear step is to wait. Sometimes it is to move. Sometimes it is to speak. Sometimes it is to stop explaining. Sometimes it is to forgive yourself. Sometimes it is to ask for help. Sometimes it is to begin again. Sometimes it is to release the idea that life must happen exactly the way you planned. The universe may not show you 10 steps ahead. It may only show you one. But one step taken in peace is better than 10 steps taken in panic. So let this message be a mirror, not a mirror that shows what is wrong with you, but a mirror that shows what is ready to return. Your peace is ready to return. Your trust is ready to return. Your inner voice is ready to return. Your self-love is ready to return. Your faith in gentle guidance is ready to return. Maybe not all at once. Maybe only in a small way today. But small is enough. A small return can begin a new path. A small breath can open a locked place. A small truth can break an old pattern. The universe is calling, but the call is not outside your life. It is moving through this moment, through your breath, through your body, through the feeling that these words are touching something real in you. Do not rush away from that feeling. Stay with it. Ask it what it wants you to know. Maybe it wants you to slow down. Maybe it wants you to trust. Maybe it wants you to stop forcing. Maybe it wants you to remember your worth. Maybe it wants you to rest. Maybe it wants you to forgive yourself for not knowing better before. Whatever it is, let it speak gently. You are not being called to fear. You are being called to faith. You are not being called to chase. You are being called to receive. You are not being called to control every outcome. You are being called to trust the next step. You are not being called away from yourself. You are being called back to yourself. And as you return, you may begin to see that the universe was never far away. It was speaking through every breath you forgot to notice, every quiet feeling you pushed aside, every door that closed, every delay that protected you, every soft inner knowing that kept waiting for you to listen. So listen closely now. There is a quiet truth rising in you. It does not need to shout. It does not need to prove. It does not need to make you afraid. It simply says, come back. Come back to peace. Come back to trust. Come back to the heart that still knows the way. You do not need to control everything in order to be safe. You do not need to hold every piece of life in your hands. You do not need to watch every door, every person, every answer, every plan, every delay, and every possible result. You were never meant to carry that much. There is a quiet peace that begins when you stop trying to force the whole world to move the way your fear wants it to move. There is a deep breath that comes when you finally say, I do not know how everything will happen, but I trust that I am being guided. Many times the need to control does not come from strength. It comes from fear. It comes from the part of you that has been hurt before and now believes it must stay ready for everything. It says, if I think about every possible problem, maybe I can stop pain from coming. It says, if I hold on tightly, maybe nothing will leave. It says, if I plan every detail, maybe I will never be surprised. But life cannot be lived from that tight place forever. The heart becomes tired. The body becomes tense. The mind becomes loud. And even when good things are near, fear keeps asking, but what if something goes wrong? The universe is calling you to release that weight, not because your dreams do not matter, not because your feelings do not matter, not because you should stop caring, but because control is not the same as trust. Control says, I must make everything happen alone. Trust says, I will do my part, and I will allow life to meet me. Control says, I need to know every step before I move. Trust says, the next step is enough. Control says, if I cannot see it, it is not working. Trust says, something can be moving even when I cannot see it yet. There is a difference between wise action and fearful control. Wise action feels clear, steady, and grounded. Fearful control feels tight, rushed, and heavy. Wise action says, this is my next right step. Fearful control says, I must fix everything right now or everything will fall apart. Wise action helps you move with peace. Fearful control makes you move from panic. And when you move from panic, you often do things that make your heart more confused. You may send the message too quickly. You may say yes when your body means no. You may chase what needs space. You may hold on to what life is asking you to release. So listen closely. You are allowed to care without controlling. You are allowed to love without gripping. You are allowed to desire something without begging for it. You are allowed to dream without forcing every detail. You are allowed to pray without telling the universe exactly how the answer must arrive. You are allowed to have hope and still keep your hands open. Open hands are not empty hands. Open hands are ready hands. They are ready to receive what is right, not just what fear demands. Sometimes the universe protects you from what you are trying to force. Sometimes the delay you hate is saving you from a road that would have made you smaller. Sometimes the closed door you keep pushing on is closed because peace is not behind it. Sometimes the silence you are fighting is giving you space to hear your own voice again. Sometimes the person, place, or outcome you think you must have is not the only way life can bless you. The mind may have one plan, but the universe may have a wider path. The mind may say, "It must be this way." The soul may whisper, "There may be something better." This does not mean you sit still and do nothing. It means you stop acting like fear is your guide. You still take steps. You still make choices. You still speak truth. You still do the work that is yours to do. But you stop trying to control what belongs to life, what belongs to timing, what belongs to another person, and what belongs to the larger unfolding. You stop taking responsibility for every result. You stop making your peace depend on everything going exactly as planned. You begin to understand that peace is not found in controlling life. Peace is found in learning how to stand in life with trust. Take a breath and say inside yourself, "I release what I cannot control. I return to what I can choose." This is a powerful sentence. It brings your energy back from all the places where fear has been spending it. You cannot control another person's feelings. You cannot control the exact timing of every blessing. You cannot control every delay, every answer, every mood, every door, every change. But you can choose your breath. You can choose your next step. You can choose your words. You can choose whether you speak to yourself with kindness or cruelty. You can choose whether you react from fear or return to peace first. When you stop trying to control everything, you begin to feel where your true power lives. Your power is not in making everyone understand you. Your power is not in making every person stay. Your power is not in forcing every dream to arrive on your schedule. Your power is in your response. Your power is in your energy. Your power is in your willingness to pause. Your power is in the way you return to yourself when life feels uncertain. Your power is in saying, "I do not need to lose myself just because I do not know what happens next." The universe does not ask you to hold the whole future. It asks you to meet this moment with an open heart. This moment is where your life is, not the memory you keep replaying, not the fear you keep imagining, not the future story your mind keeps building. This moment, this breath, this choice, this small opening. When you come back to this moment, you stop feeding the fear that says everything must be solved today. You remember that the whole path is not required right now. Only the next peaceful step is required. There are moments when control feels like protection, but it quietly becomes a prison. You think you are keeping yourself safe by checking, watching, planning, and overthinking. But slowly, your world becomes smaller. You stop enjoying what is here because you are worried about what might happen. You stop receiving love because you are afraid it may leave. You stop resting because you think rest will make something fall apart. You stop hearing guidance because the mind is too busy trying to manage every result. Conti, role promises safety, but often steals peace. Let this truth settle gently. You can be safe without knowing everything. You can be guided without controlling everything. You can be loved without chasing. You can be supported without forcing. You can be moving forward even when the movement is quiet. You can be healing even when nothing looks dramatic from the outside. Not all progress is loud. Not all blessings arrive with proof before they arrive. Not all answers come because you pushed. Some answers come when you finally stop pushing and become still enough to receive. When the need to control rises, do not hate it. It is only a part of you asking for safety. Do not say, "Why am I like this?" Say, "Something in me is afraid." I can care for that fear without letting it lead. This is how you become gentle with yourself. Fear may knock on the door, but you do not have to make it the ruler of your life. You can listen to the fear, thank it for trying to protect you, and then choose from a wiser place. You can say, "I hear you. I know you want to keep me safe, but I am choosing peace now." A simple practice can help. When you feel the urge to control, ask yourself, what is mine to do and what is mine to release? This question brings clarity. Maybe what is yours to do is send the email, make the call, take care of your body, speak honestly, rest, prepare, clean your space, drink water, or set a boundary. Maybe what is yours to release is another person's reaction, the exact timing, the outcome, the approval, the old story, or the fear that everything must happen today. When you know the difference, your heart becomes lighter. The need to control often becomes strongest when you are waiting. Waiting can bring up old fears. It can make the mind create stories. It can make a quiet day feel like a rejection. It can make a delay feel like proof that nothing is working. But waiting is not always empty. Waiting can be sacred. Waiting can be a season where unseen things are being arranged. Waiting can be a space where your heart is being prepared to receive what it once would have feared. Waiting can be where you learn that your peace cannot depend only on speed. The universe has its own rhythm. Seeds do not become flowers in one day. The moon does not become full in one night. The sun does not rush the morning. The ocean does not force the tide. Nature moves with trust. It does not panic because something is not finished yet. And you too are part of life. You have a rhythm. Your healing has a rhythm. Your path has a rhythm. Your blessings have a rhythm. You may not always understand the timing, but you can stop telling yourself that delay means denial. Sometimes delay means preparation. Sometimes delay means protection. Sometimes delay means the answer is still becoming ready for you. Say softly, "I am not behind. I am in the rhythm of my life." Let those words reach the place in you that compares, worries, and feels late. You are not late because someone else arrived sooner. You are not forgotten because something is taking time. You are not failing because your road looks different. Your path is not meant to be measured against another path. The universe is not confused about you. Life knows where you are. Life knows what you need. Life knows what must grow in you before the next door opens. When you release control, you may feel fear at first. That is normal. If you have lived a long time gripping life tightly, open hands may feel strange. Peace may feel unfamiliar. Trust may feel too quiet. But keep practicing. Letting go is not one big moment. It is many small choices. It is choosing not to check again, choosing not to ask the same question from fear, choosing not to force a conversation before the heart is calm, choosing not to make one delay mean disaster, choosing not to speak to yourself like you are a problem to solve. Each choice is a small release. There is also a deep freedom in allowing people to be who they are. Not because their actions do not matter, not because you accept hurtful behavior, but because you no longer spend your life trying to turn someone into the version you wish they were. You can observe, you can listen, you can see what is true. You can make choices based on reality, not only hope. Control says, I must make them change so I can feel peace. Freedom says, I can choose peace even if they do not change. This is not cold. This is wise. It brings your power back. You may be trying to control because you are afraid that if you stop, everything will fall apart. But what if some things are falling apart because they are not built on truth? What if some things need to loosen so something healthier can grow? What if the part of your life that feels uncertain is not the end of your path, but the clearing of a path? What if you do not need to hold everything together with fear? What if what is truly meant for you can stay without being forced? What if what leaves after you stop chasing was never holding you with love? This is not easy to accept, but it is freeing. What is meant for your soul does not need you to lose your soul to keep it. What is aligned with your peace will not require endless panic. What is truly yours will meet you in a way that does not make you abandon yourself. Yes, every good thing still asks for care. Relationships need honesty. Work needs effort. Dreams need steps. Healing needs practice. But care is not the same as control. Effort is not the same as fear. Devotion is not the same as self-punishment. The universe is calling you into a softer kind of strength. The strength to stop forcing. The strength to wait without falling apart. The strength to hear no and still believe in your worth. The strength to let a door close without calling yourself rejected by life. The strength to say, this is not mine to carry. The strength to let silence be silence without filling it with painful stories. The strength to breathe before you react. The strength to choose trust when fear is loud. Say again, I release what is not mine to control. I trust the universe to guide what I cannot see. You may need to repeat this many times. Repeat it when the mind starts planning every bad thing. Repeat it when you want to force an answer. Repeat it when you feel forgotten. Repeat it when the old fear says, do something now. Let the words become a hand on your heart. Let them remind you that you can care deeply and still be at peace. You can want something and still stay free inside. You can move forward and still trust life. Sometimes the answer will come after you stop demanding it. Sometimes clarity will rise after the body becomes calm. Sometimes the path will open after you stop banging on a closed door. Sometimes what you thought you needed will change after you return to yourself. This is why surrender is powerful. Surrender does not mean life wins and you lose. Surrender means fear loses its power to rule you. Surrender means you stop fighting the present moment long enough to hear what it is teaching you. Surrender means you let the universe help in ways your small plan could not imagine. So today, let one thing be released. Not everything, just one thing. Release the need to know every answer. Release the need to make someone understand right now. Release the need to fix the whole future today. Release the need to turn every delay into fear. Release the need to hold your breath until life proves it loves you. Life is already loving you through this breath, through this pause, through this reminder, through the quiet call asking you to trust again. One hard moment is not your whole life. One delay is not your destiny. One closed door is not proof that nothing good is coming. One silence is not the voice of the universe saying you are forgotten. One mistake is not the final story of who you are. The mind can take one small scene and turn it into a whole movie of fear. It can take one message that did not come, one plan that changed, one chance that passed, one day that felt heavy, and suddenly it says, "This is how it will always be." But listen closely. That is fear speaking. That is not truth. Your life is wider than this moment. Your path is larger than this delay. Your worth is deeper than this result. Your future is not trapped inside one day, one choice, one ending, or one disappointment. You are not finished because something did not work. You are not behind because something took longer than you hoped. You are not unloved because someone could not meet you with care. You are not unsafe because you do not have the answer right now. This is a moment. It may be painful. It may be confusing. It may feel heavy, but it is still only a moment. The frightened mind loves to make everything final. It says, if this did not happen, it never will. It says, if this person left, no one will ever stay. It says, if this door closed, all doors are closed. It says, if I failed once, I will always fail. It says, if today is hard, my life is hard. But the frightened mind is not a prophet. It is only trying to protect you by preparing you for pain. It thinks if it expects the worst, maybe the worst will hurt less. But expecting the worst does not create peace. It keeps the body living in danger before danger has even arrived. There is a gentle question that can bring you back. What if this is only one scene? Not the whole movie, not the whole path, not the whole truth, just one scene. If the conversation did not go the way you hoped, it is one scene. If the answer is late, it is one scene. If you made a mistake, it is one scene. If someone misunderstood you, it is one scene. If the day feels heavy, it is one scene. If the door closed, it is one scene. You are allowed to feel it. You are allowed to learn from it. But you do not have to turn it into your whole future. Say softly, "This is one scene, not the whole story of my life." Let those words give your heart some room. Fear makes the moment feel tight. It makes it feel like everything is happening right now and nothing can change. But truth opens space. Truth says, "This happened, and life can still guide me." Truth says, "This hurt, and I can still heal." Truth says, "This door closed, and another path can still appear." Truth says, "I do not like this moment, but I will not use it to curse my whole life." Think about how many moments once felt final, but were not final. There were days you thought you could not pass, but you passed them. There were feelings you thought would never soften, but they softened. There were problems you thought would never change, but they changed, or you changed, or life carried you in a way you could not see at the time. There were things you once wanted so badly, and now you understand why they did not stay. There were delays that once felt cruel, and later they made sense. There were endings that broke your heart, and later they made space. Life has already shown you that one moment is not the whole truth. The universe is calling you to stop building a painful future from a temporary feeling. A feeling can be strong and still not be the whole truth. Fear can feel real and still not be wise. Sadness can feel deep and still not be permanent. Confusion can feel heavy and still not mean you are lost. You can honor the feeling without letting it write the rest of your life. You can say, "I feel scared right now, but I do not know the whole story." You can say, "I feel disappointed right now, but good can still come." You can say, "I feel alone right now, but I am still held by life." This is how you begin to loosen fear's grip. You stop arguing with the moment, and you stop making the moment bigger than it is. You let it be what it is. Not smaller, not bigger, just what it is. A delay is a delay. It is not proof of failure. A no is a no. It is not proof of unworthiness. A hard day is a hard day. It is not proof of a hard life. A closed door is a closed door. It is not proof that the universe has stopped opening doors. When you name things clearly, the mind becomes calmer. It no longer needs to turn everything into a threat. Sometimes what feels like rejection is redirection. Sometimes what feels like a loss is a clearing. Sometimes what feels like nothing is happening is a quiet preparation. Sometimes what feels like being blocked is life stopping you from walking into something that would not serve you. You may not know which it is right away, That is why you do not need to decide the meaning too quickly. Do not rush to call the moment bad. Do not rush to call yourself unlucky. Do not rush to say life is against you. Give the universe time to show you the wider picture. When you are inside the moment, you can only see what is close. You see the knot. You do not yet see the pattern. You see the closed door. You do not yet see the road turning. You see the silence. You do not yet see the protection. You see the delay. You do not yet see the timing. This is why trust matters. Trust does not ask you to pretend the moment feels good. Trust asks you to leave room for meaning you cannot see yet. Trust says, I do not understand this now, but I will not use my confusion as proof that I am not guided. Your mind may say, but I need to know why. Sometimes you will know why later. Sometimes you may never know in the way your mind wants to know. But peace does not always come from understanding everything. Sometimes peace comes from no longer fighting what already happened. Sometimes peace comes from saying, I do not know why this unfolded this way, but I know I can choose my next step with love. Sometimes the answer is not an explanation. Sometimes the answer is strength. Sometimes the answer is a boundary. Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes the answer is a new beginning. One of the kindest things you can do for yourself is stop speaking forever words over a temporary season. Do not say, I will never be happy again. Say, I am hurting today. Do not say, nothing ever works for me. Say, this did not work and I am open to a better way. Do not say, I always ruin things. Say, I made a mistake and I can learn. Do not say, I am lost. Say, I do not see the next step yet, and I am willing to be guided. Your words matter. They either lock the door of fear or open the window of hope. The universe can reach you more easily when you stop using one moment to close your heart. When disappointment comes, the heart may want to shut down. It may say, I will never hope again. But closing the heart does not protect you from life. It separates you from the very guidance you are asking for. You do not have to be wide open all at once, but leave a small space for peace, a small space for a new thought, a small space for the idea that this moment may not be the end. A small space is enough for light to enter. Let this become your practice. When fear says, this means everything is ruined, pause, breathe. Ask, do I know that for sure? Most of the time you do not. You only know that something happened. You only know that you feel something. You only know that this moment is uncomfortable. But you do not know that your future is ruined. You do not know that nothing good can come. You do not know that this is the end of your path. The mind may pretend it knows, but it does not. Leave space for grace. Grace often enters through the space we leave open. If you fill the whole space with fear, there is no room to see the help, the lesson, the new path, the quiet blessing, or the next step. But when you say, "I do not know yet," you create room. "I do not know yet" can be a peaceful sentence. It does not mean you are helpless. It means you are honest. It means you are not forcing a painful meaning before life has shown you the full picture. It means you trust that more can be revealed. There is a soft strength in not making everything final. It takes strength to say, "This is hard, but it is not the whole story." It takes strength to feel disappointment without becoming bitter. It takes strength to wait without turning against yourself. It takes strength to be unsure and still stay kind. It takes strength to let one day be one day. It takes strength to let one ending be one ending, not the end of your hope. This kind of strength is quiet, but it changes everything. If today feels heavy, let it be today. Do not drag it into every tomorrow. If this season feels slow, let it be this season. Do not decide that your whole life will move slowly. If your heart feels tired, let it rest. Do not decide that your heart will never feel joy again. You're allowed to have a moment without making it your identity. You're allowed to say, "I am passing through this," not living here forever, passing through. Even if the passing takes time, you are still moving. The universe may be using this moment to teach you how to stop collapsing around every temporary thing. Every change does not need to become a crisis. Every delay does not need to become a wound. Every silence does not need to become a story of abandonment. Every mistake does not need to become shame. You can become steady. You can become gentle. You can become the kind of person who feels deeply but does not drown in every feeling. You can say, "This touched fear in me, but I can come back to myself." The moment you return to yourself, the scene changes. Maybe not outside right away, but inside. And when the inside changes, your choices change. When your choices change, your path changes. You may answer differently. You may wait instead of chasing. You may rest instead of forcing. You may speak truth instead of pleasing. You may release instead of gripping. You may notice a door you could not see while fear was covering your eyes. This is why one peaceful breath matters. It can change the next choice. And one next choice can change the direction of the story. Say, "This happened, and I am still safe." Say, "This happened, and I can still choose." Say, "This happened, and life can still guide me." These words are not pretending. They are grounding. They remind the body that the moment is not bigger than your spirit. They remind the heart that it does not have to collapse. They remind the mind that it does not need to build a whole fearful future from one piece of information. You may not feel strong every day. That is okay. Strength is not always a big feeling. Sometimes strength is simply not giving up on yourself in the middle of a hard thought. Sometimes strength is drinking water. Sometimes strength is taking one shower. Sometimes strength is not sending the message from panic. Sometimes strength is going to sleep instead of replaying the same fear all night. Sometimes strength is saying, I will decide when I am calmer. These small acts tell your nervous system, we are not in the old story anymore. We are learning a new way. One moment can teach you, but it does not have to define you. A mistake can guide you, but it does not have to become your name. A delay can slow you, but it does not have to stop you. An ending can hurt you, but it does not have to close your heart forever. You are bigger than what happened. You are more than what did not happen. You are more than what someone saw or failed to see in you. The universe does not judge your whole life by one chapter, so do not do that to yourself. If you are in a hard scene right now, breathe. This is not the whole movie. The page is not finished. The path is not done. The door in front of you is not the only door in all of life. The answer you wanted is not the only way good can reach you. The person who did not understand you is not the only place love can come from. The chance that passed is not the last chance. The light has not left your life. Maybe it is only hidden behind the clouds of this moment. Clouds pass, seasons change, hearts heal, roads turn, life continues to move. Trust does not mean you know how the scene will change. Trust means you stop saying it cannot change. Trust means you stop giving fear the final word. Trust means you allow the universe to write a wider story than the one your pain is telling today. You are not asked to see the whole road. You are asked to stop making the current stone in the road into the end of the journey. Step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment, the story can still open. So let this be a soft command to your heart. Do not turn this moment into a life sentence. Do not turn this delay into a final answer. Do not turn this silence into proof that you are unloved. Do not turn this mistake into a reason to hate yourself. Do not turn this ending into the end of your faith. This is one scene. Let it be one scene. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it pass through you. Let it show you what needs healing. But do not hand it the power to name your whole life. Come back to yourself. Come back to the one person who has been with you through every season, every ending, every new beginning, every quiet battle, every private tear, every hope, every fear, every step. You have been looking outside for signs, love, answers, and proof. But the universe may be asking you to begin with the way you treat your own heart. Because when you abandon yourself, everything outside feels more powerful than it should. A message can control your mood. A silence can break your peace. A person's opinion can feel like truth. A delay can make you question your worth. But when you come back to self-love, you remember who you are. Self-love is not pride. It is not pretending you are perfect. It is not acting like you do not need anyone. Self-love is the quiet promise that you will not keep leaving yourself in order to be accepted. It is the promise that you will not speak to yourself with cruelty. It is the promise that you will not call yourself worthless because one thing did not work. It is the promise that you will not beg for a place in a life that makes you feel small. Self-love says, I am willing to be on my own side. That one choice can begin to heal so much. Many people think they need someone else to come and save them from the pain inside. And yes, love and support are beautiful. Kind people can help. Safe connection matters. But no one can do the inner returning for you. No one can live inside your mind and choose your thoughts for you. No one can breathe for you. No one can build your worth from the outside if you keep tearing it down inside. Others can remind you that you are loved, but you must also become willing to receive that truth. You must stop arguing with love when it tries to enter. If you have been waiting for someone else to tell you that you matter, this is your gentle reminder, you matter now. Not after they reply, not after they choose you, not after the door opens, not after the money comes, not after your body changes, not after you become more successful, not after you fix every part of yourself. You matter now. Your worth is not waiting at the end of an achievement. Your worth is not hiding inside another person's approval. Your worth is not something life gives and takes away. It is already here, even if you forgot. When you forget your worth, you may accept crumbs and call them love. You may accept confusion and call it passion. You may accept being ignored and call it patience. You may accept pain and call it loyalty. You may keep proving, explaining, waiting, chasing, and shrinking, hoping that one day someone will finally see you. But self-love wakes up and says, I do not need to disappear to be loved. I do not need to suffer to prove that I care. I do not need to keep knocking on a door that only opens enough to keep me waiting. This does not mean you stop loving people. It means you love yourself too. It means your heart is included in your own life. It means your peace has a place in your choices. It means your body's no is respected. It means your tears are not ignored. It means you stop making excuses for what keeps hurting you. It means you stop calling self-betrayal a spiritual lesson. Sometimes the lesson is not to stay and suffer. Sometimes the lesson is to choose yourself with love. Place a hand on your heart and say softly, I am here with you. I will not abandon you. Let the words be simple. Let them be slow. Maybe they feel strange at first. Maybe a part of you does not believe them yet. That is okay. Speak them anyway. The heart may not trust right away if you have ignored it for a long time. Trust is built through repeated kindness. Every time you pause and speak gently, you are showing your heart that things are changing. You are saying, I am learning to care for you now. There may be a younger part of you inside who has waited a long time to hear those words, a part that felt unseen, a part that felt too much, a part that learned to be quiet to keep peace, a part that tried to earn love by being useful, pleasing, strong, or perfect. That part does not need a lecture. It does not need shame. It needs your presence. It needs you to say, I see you. I know you were trying. I know you were scared. I am not angry with you. I am here now. This is not weakness. This is deep healing. Self-love begins in the way you speak to yourself during hard moments. It is easy to speak kindly when life is going well. The real practice begins when you make a mistake, when something ends, when fear rises, when you feel rejected, when the old story comes back. That is when you can choose a new voice. Instead of saying, I always ruin things, say, I am learning. Instead of saying, no one will ever love me, say, I am worthy of love and I am healing the places that forgot. Instead of saying, I am behind, say, my path has its own timing. Instead of saying, I am lost, say, I am being guided step by step. Your inner voice is like the weather inside you. If it is always storming, your body never feels safe. If it is always judging, your heart never rests. If it is always comparing, your spirit forgets its own rhythm. But when the inner voice becomes softer, the whole inner world begins to change. You start to breathe differently. You start to make clearer choices. You start to notice what brings peace and what steals it. You start to feel less desperate for outside approval because you are no longer abandoning yourself inside. The universe can guide a self-loving heart more clearly because self-love makes the inner space quieter. When you are fighting yourself, every message becomes confusing. You may think fear is intuition. You may think anxiety is a sign. You may think attachment is love. You may think urgency means destiny. But when you are kind to yourself, the noise softens. You can feel the difference between peace and panic. You can feel the difference between a soul yes and a fear yes. You can feel the difference between love and the need to be chosen. Ask yourself gently, where am I asking someone else to give me what I am refusing to give myself? Maybe you are asking others to value you while you keep calling yourself not enough. Maybe you are asking someone to be gentle with you while you are harsh with yourself every day. Maybe you are asking life to bring peace while you keep speaking fear over your future. Maybe you are asking the universe for love while you keep rejecting the person in the mirror. This question is not here to blame you. It is here to bring your power back. You can begin with small acts. Self-love does not always look dramatic. Sometimes self-love is drinking water. Sometimes it is resting when you are tired. Sometimes it is not answering from panic. Sometimes it is choosing silence instead of explaining yourself to someone who is not listening. Sometimes it is cleaning one small corner of your room. Sometimes it is making the appointment. Sometimes it is going outside for air. Sometimes it is saying, I need time. Sometimes it is forgiving yourself for what you did when you did not know how to love yourself well. Do not wait until you feel fully healed to treat yourself with care. Care is part of the healing. Do not wait until you feel worthy to act worthy. Acting with self-respect helps you remember. Do not wait until someone else chooses you before you choose yourself. Choose yourself now, in small ways, honest ways, quiet ways. The universe responds to the way you hold your own heart. When you begin to treat yourself as someone worth protecting, your choices begin to change. Your energy begins to change. Your life begins to make room for what matches that new respect. Self-love also means telling yourself the truth. Not the harsh truth that attacks you, but the clean truth that frees you. The clean truth may say, this is hurting me. The clean truth may say, I have been giving too much. The clean truth may say, I am tired. The clean truth may say, I need support. The clean truth may say, I keep returning to something that does not bring peace. The clean truth may say, I am ready to stop living from fear. Truth spoken with love becomes a doorway. It does not crush you. It opens you. Sometimes you may fear that self-love will make you lose people. But what self-love truly removes is the habit of losing yourself. The people who are meant to love you well will not need you to abandon your soul to keep them comfortable. The places that are meant for you will not require you to shrink forever. The path that is aligned with your spirit may challenge you, but it will not ask you to hate yourself. Self-love helps you recognize the difference. It helps you stop calling every attachment sacred. It helps you stop confusing familiar pain with home. Come back to the mirror of your own heart. Look at yourself with softer eyes. Maybe you have judged yourself for the way you handled the past. Maybe you stayed too long. Maybe you trusted too quickly. Maybe you ignored a sign. Maybe you spoke from fear. Maybe you did not speak when you needed to. Maybe you made choices from pain. But listen closely. You were learning. You were trying to survive with the tools you had then. You are allowed to grow without punishing the old version of you. You are allowed to say, I know better now, and I will choose differently with love. Forgiveness is part of self-love, not the kind that excuses everything, the kind that releases the heavy stone from your own chest. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Forgive yourself for needing time. Forgive yourself for wanting love. Forgive yourself for hoping. Forgive yourself for the times you forgot your worth. Forgive yourself for the ways you tried to stay safe. Forgiveness says, I will not use my past as a weapon against my heart. It lets you begin again without carrying shame like a chain. Say, I forgive myself for the ways I abandoned myself. I am learning to return with love. Let those words move slowly through you. They may touch something tender. Let them. Tenderness is not danger. It is the heart becoming soft again. You do not need to rush through tenderness. Stay with it. The part of you that has been waiting for kindness may finally feel seen. And when you feel seen by yourself, you stop needing the whole world to prove your existence. There is a deep peace that comes when you become your own safe place. It does not mean life will never hurt. It does not mean people will never disappoint you. It does not mean the path will always be simple. It means that no matter what happens, you will not leave yourself alone in it. If grief comes, you will sit with yourself. If fear comes, you will breathe with yourself. If confusion comes, you will not shame yourself. If an ending comes, you will hold your own heart. This is safety. This is inner home. The universe is calling you back to that home, back to the place where you are not begging for worth, back to the place where your heart can rest, back to the place where your own love becomes a steady light. When you live from that place, you no longer chase signs in fear. You begin to feel guidance in peace. You no longer ask, am I enough? You begin to ask, what is aligned with the love I now have for myself? You no longer say, please choose me so I can feel real. You begin to say, I choose myself. And from that place, I welcome what is true. Self-love changes what you accept. It changes what you call normal. It changes what you chase. It changes what you allow to stay in your energy. It changes the way you wait. It changes the way you pray. It changes the way you listen. It does not make you cold. It makes you clear. It does not make you selfish. It makes you honest. It does not make you less loving. It makes your love cleaner because it is no longer mixed with fear of being left. If the universe has brought this message to you today, maybe it is asking you to stop looking only outside and begin here. Begin with the way you hold your own heart. Begin with one softer sentence. Begin with one honest boundary. Begin with one small act of care. Begin with one moment where you do not criticize yourself. Begin with one breath where you say, I am worthy of peace. You do not need to rebuild your whole life in one day. You only need to stop abandoning yourself in this moment. Repeat this slowly. I am here with myself. I will not abandon myself. I am worthy of gentle love. I am safe to come home to my own heart. Let each word become a small light. Let it shine on the places inside you that have felt forgotten. Let it reach the parts of you that thought they had to earn love by suffering. Let it reach the parts that are tired of chasing. Let it reach the parts that are ready for peace. This is where guidance becomes clear. This is where the universe speaks softly. This is where you remember that the call was never only about the world outside you. It was always calling you home. The universe may already be speaking to you through the small things you keep passing by. But every sign arrives like thunder. Not every answer comes as a big event. Not every blessing looks grand at first. Sometimes the universe speaks through a quiet breath, a small delay, a sudden calm feeling, a kind word, a soft thought that returns again and again, or a simple moment that makes your heart feel a little lighter. If you are waiting only for something huge, you may miss the gentle ways life is already guiding you. So slow down and look again. Look at the little pieces of support already around you, the breath moving in your body, the roof above you, the water you drink, the light coming through the day, the one person who showed kindness, the one word that helped you keep going, the one moment of peace that came even when the rest of life felt heavy. These may seem small to the frightened mind, but they are not small. They are signs that life is still holding you. They are signs that you are not without support. They are signs that the universe has not forgotten you. Many people ask for guidance while standing in the middle of quiet blessings they have not noticed. They say, "Show me the way," while life is already saying, "Begin here. Begin with this breath. Begin with this little piece. Begin with what is already in your hands." The mind often wants a full map, but the universe often gives one small light at a time. And if you keep ignoring the small lights because you are waiting for a giant one, you may feel more lost than you really are. Gratitude helps you see. Fear makes the eyes search only for danger. Fear says, "What is missing? What could go wrong? What if I am not safe? What if nothing works?" But gratitude asks a softer question. It asks, what is still here? What is still supporting me? What has not fallen apart? What good is already present? This does not mean you pretend there is no pain. It does not mean you deny your problems. It means you stop letting pain be the only thing your eyes can see. There is always more than fear. Even on a hard day, there may be one breath that is okay, one small thing that is working, one part of your body that is still carrying you, one choice that is still yours, one corner of your life that is not falling apart, one memory that still brings warmth, one lesson that is making you wiser. One quiet sign that says, keep going. You are not alone. When you notice these things, your energy begins to change. Not because life becomes perfect, but because your heart remembers that life is not only pain. Say softly, I am willing to notice the good that is already supporting me. Let that sentence open your eyes in a new way. You do not have to force yourself to feel happy. You do not have to pretend everything is fine. Just be willing to notice one good thing, one small thing, one simple thing. The body is breathing. The heart is still beating. The day is still open. A new thought can still come. A different choice can still be made. Guidance can still arrive. Sometimes the smallest sign is the peace you feel when you stop forcing. Sometimes the sign is the tiredness you feel when you keep chasing what drains you. Sometimes the sign is the heaviness in your body when something is not right for you. Sometimes the sign is the relief you feel when you imagine letting go. Sometimes the sign is the same message showing up again and again in different ways. Sometimes the sign is not a symbol outside you, but the way your own heart responds. Pay attention to peace. Peace is one of the clearest languages of the universe. Not excitement that burns fast and leaves you empty. Not panic that feels urgent. Not fear that says, act now or everything will be ruined. Peace is quieter. Peace does not always mean the choice is easy. It means the choice feels clean. It means your spirit can breathe around it. It means something in you says, this may be the right way. When peace comes, even in a small amount, listen. There are also signs in what repeats. A thought that keeps returning with calm. A word that keeps finding you. A lesson that keeps showing up through different situations. A feeling that keeps asking for your attention. A pattern that keeps showing you where you need to heal. The universe often teaches through repetition, not to annoy you, but to help you see what you have been avoiding. If the same kind of pain keeps returning, ask gently, what is this trying to show me? If the same kind of peace keeps calling, ask, what is this inviting me to trust? You may notice that guidance often begins as a whisper before it becomes loud. First, you feel a small discomfort, then a stronger one. First, you feel a soft pull toward rest. Then your body becomes exhausted because you ignored it. First, you feel a quiet no. Then life makes it harder to keep saying yes. First, you feel a little knowing that something is not for you. Then the truth becomes impossible to ignore. The universe is kind, but it is also clear. It will keep calling you toward truth. Do not wait until life has to shake you before you listen. Listen when the sign is small. Listen when the body whispers. Listen when the heart tightens. Listen when peace softens you. Listen when something feels lighter. Listen when something feels heavy for too long. The small signs are often the early guidance. They help you adjust before life has to push harder. They help you return before you wander too far from yourself. Look at your life today and find 3 small signs of support. Maybe there is food. Maybe there is air. Maybe there is a bed. Maybe there is a message that brought comfort. Maybe there is one person you can trust. Maybe there is a lesson you finally understand. Maybe there is a chance to begin again. Maybe there is one peaceful thought that feels true. Name it. Say, "This is supporting me. This is helping me. This is a sign that life is still here." This simple practice changes the way you receive guidance. A heart full of panic often misses what is right in front of it. It is like looking through fog. Everything appears unclear, but a grateful heart begins to clear the fog. It notices the open door. It notices the kind person. It notices the repeated message. It notices the soft no and he gentle yes. Gratitude does not control life. It helps you see life more clearly. The universe may be calling you not only through what arrives, but also through what leaves. A closed door can be a sign. A delay can be a sign. A change in someone's behavior can be a sign. A sudden loss of interest can be a sign. A feeling of peace after stepping back can be a sign. Do not decide too quickly that every change is bad. Sometimes change is guidance. Sometimes what leaves creates space for what can finally bless you. Sometimes what does not work is pointing you toward what will. This does not mean every painful thing is easy to accept. Pain still hurts. Change can still feel hard. But when you trust that the universe can guide through many forms, you stop calling every uncomfortable moment a failure. You begin to ask, what is life showing me? You begin to look for the lesson, the protection, the clearing, the opening. You stop seeing yourself as abandoned by life and start seeing yourself as guided through life. There are blessings already here that your future self may one day wish you had noticed more deeply. The ordinary morning, the simple meal, the person sitting near you, the strength in your body, the quiet chance to begin again, the time you still have, the breath you are taking now. Life is made of many small holy moments. If you wait only for the big miracle, you may miss the little miracles that are keeping you alive, steady, and supported. Say, I open my eyes to the small signs. I open my heart to the quiet blessings. I trust that guidance can come in simple ways. Let this be your practice today. Not searching with fear, not looking for proof that life loves you, but gently noticing that support is already around you. The universe does not always need to send something new. Sometimes it needs you to see what has been here all along. When you begin to notice the small signs, life feels less empty. You begin to feel accompanied. You begin to sense that even ordinary moments can carry meaning. A song can bring the answer your heart needed. A sentence can open a door inside you. A delay can save you from moving too soon. A quiet morning can restore your strength. A small act of kindness can remind you that love still exists. The world becomes softer when you stop walking through it with closed eyes. So today, do not ask only for a sign. Ask for the eyes to recognize it. Ask for the calm to receive it. Ask for the trust to not dismiss it because it is small. The universe often begins with small things because small things are easier for the heart to hold. One small sign can lead to one small step. One small step can lead to a new path. One new path can change the whole direction of your life. Trust the timing of your life. This does not mean every waiting season feels easy. It does not mean you never feel tired. It does not mean you never wonder why something is taking so long. It means you stop using delay as proof that life has forgotten you. It means you stop telling yourself that you are behind just because something has not arrived yet. It means you begin to believe that what is truly meant for your highest good can meet you at the right time, in the right way, with the right kind of peace. The mind often wants everything now. It wants the answer now, the healing now, the love now, the success now, the clear sign now. The mind thinks fast means safe. But the universe does not work only by speed. It works by alignment. It works by readiness. It works by growth. It works by unseen pieces coming together in ways you may not understand while you are still in the middle of the story. Just because nothing seems to be happening does not mean nothing is happening. A seed does not become a flower the moment it enters the ground. For a while, it is hidden. It is covered. It is in the dark. To the eye, it may look like nothing is changing. But under the soil, life is moving. Roots are forming. Strength is building. The seed is not being punished because it is underground. It is being prepared. In the same way, there may be parts of your life that are growing quietly beneath what you can see. Do not call the hidden season a failure. It may be the place where your next blessing is taking root. Sometimes the delay is not denial. Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes the delay is preparation. Sometimes the delay is the universe making sure you do not receive too soon what you are not yet ready to hold in peace. A blessing received before the heart is ready can feel heavy. A door opened before the foundation is strong can create more fear than joy. A relationship, opportunity, or change can arrive too early if the inner self is still living in old patterns. Divine timing is not always about the outside thing. Sometimes it is about the person you are becoming before it arrives. Say softly, I am not behind. I am becoming ready. Let those words calm the part of you that feels late. You are not late because another person reached something before you. You are not late because your life has taken a different road. You are not late because you had to heal, learn, rest, begin again, or walk through a season you did not expect. Your path has its own rhythm. Your soul has its own lessons. Your timing does not need to look like anyone else's timing. Comparison makes divine timing hard to trust. When you look at another person's life and decide yours should look the same, you create pain. You do not know what their path required. You do not know what their soul is learning. You do not know what is happening behind what they show. Their timing is theirs. Your timing is yours. A flower does not become less beautiful because it blooms in a different season. The moon does not lose worth because it has phases. The ocean does not rush because another wave rose first. Life has many rhythms, and yours is one of them. The universe may be asking you to stop calling yourself behind. Behind what? Behind whose plan? Behind which timeline? There is no single clock for a soul. There is no one perfect age for healing. There is no one perfect day for love. There is no one perfect season for success. There is only the path that is unfolding with you, through you, and for you. If something has not arrived yet, do not decide that it never will. If something is still forming, do not break your own heart by thinking life has denied you. Trusting divine timing does not mean sitting in fear and doing nothing. It means doing your part without forcing the rest. It means preparing while you wait, healing while you wait, learning while you wait, resting while you wait, becoming kinder to yourself while you wait. It means using the waiting season as a sacred space, not a punishment. Ask, what can I grow in this season? What can I release? What can I understand? What can I strengthen? What can I stop carrying? Waiting can become active when your heart is awake. Sometimes the waiting season shows you what you truly want. Sometimes it shows you what you only wanted because fear was leading. Sometimes time reveals that the thing you begged for would not have brought peace. Sometimes time reveals that your desire has changed. Sometimes time reveals that you were asking for too little. The universe may delay one thing because a deeper good is being prepared. The mind may resist this because the mind wants proof, but the heart can learn to whisper this or something better. Say, I trust what is meant for me to arrive in the right time and the right way. Do not say it from pressure. Say it like a soft prayer. You are not trying to control the universe with the words. You are opening your heart to trust. You are telling fear, you do not get to rule me while I wait. You are telling your body, we are safe enough for this moment. You are telling your spirit, I am willing to receive without rushing. There may be something you have wanted for a long time. Maybe love, maybe healing, maybe a clear direction, maybe peace in your family, maybe a new beginning, maybe freedom from an old pattern, maybe a sign that everything will be okay. If it has not arrived yet, hold your desire gently. Do not turn it into a weapon against yourself. Do not say, because it has not happened, I am not worthy. Do not say, because it is taking time, I am forgotten. Say, this desire is in my heart, and I trust that life knows how to guide me. The timing of the universe can feel slow when you are hurting. A day can feel long when your heart is waiting. A week can feel heavy when you want answers. But rushing from pain can lead you into choices that do not truly serve you. You may accept less because you are tired of waiting. You may force a door because silence scares you. You may return to an old pattern because it feels familiar. Divine timing asks you to stay close to yourself so you do not trade your peace for quick relief. Quick relief is not always healing. Sometimes quick relief only quiets fear for a moment, then brings more confusion later. True timing has a different feeling. It may still ask for courage, but it does not feel like self-betrayal. It may ask you to move, but not from panic. It may ask you to wait, but not from fear. It carries a steadier energy. It says, this is the need. It's the right time. And the more you practice listening, the more you can feel the difference. If a door is not opening right now, it does not mean every door is closed. If a person is not ready, it does not mean love is not real. If an answer has not come, it does not mean guidance is absent. If healing is slow, it does not mean healing is not happening. Be careful with the meanings you give to timing. The mind can make delay mean rejection, but the soul may know delay as protection. The mind can make waiting mean failure, but the soul may know waiting as preparation. Think of all the times something arrived later than you wanted, but at the right time when you look back. Think of the moments that did not make sense, but later became clear. Think of the doors that closed and later saved you. Think of the things you lost that made space for something more honest. Life has a way of arranging pieces beyond what the mind can see. This does not mean every pain is easy. It means pain is not always the end of the story. Say, I trust the timing I cannot see. Let that sentence meet the part of you that wants to control the clock. You do not need to know the exact day. You do not need to know the exact path. You do not need to know how every piece will connect. You can take the step that is yours today and let the rest unfold. The universe is not asking you to carry the future. It is asking you to meet this day with trust. Divine timing also includes rest. Sometimes you think you are delayed because life is against you, when truly you are being asked to restore. You may need strength before the next door opens. You may need clarity before the next choice. You may need self-love before the next relationship. You may need peace before the next responsibility. Rest is not wasted time. Rest can be part of the timing. Stillness can be part of the path. A quiet season can be sacred work. Do not confuse stillness with failure. Do not confuse slow movement with no movement. Do not confuse hidden growth with no growth. A river can move quietly and still reach the sea. A tree can grow slowly and still become strong. A heart can heal quietly and still become whole. Your progress does not need to be loud to be real. Your life does not need to impress anyone to be meaningful. Your timing does not need to be understood by everyone to be guided. When impatience rises, place a hand on your heart and say, I am safe in this moment. What belongs to me will not miss me. What is not for me can pass with peace. These words help loosen the grip. They remind you that you do not need to chase what is truly aligned. You may need to show up. You may need to take action. You may need to be brave. But you do not need to destroy your peace trying to force what is meant to come through peace. Trusting timing is also trusting that some things leave at the right time. This can be hard. The heart may want to hold on longer. The mind may ask why. But sometimes something leaves because its part in your life is complete. Sometimes a chapter ends because a new one cannot begin while you are still living inside the old one. Sometimes the universe removes what you did not have the strength to release. Not because you are being punished, but because you are being guided toward a truer life. There is a quiet freedom in saying, I do not need to chase what is leaving, and I do not need to rush what is coming. Let that be enough. Let life breathe. Let your path have space. Let the universe move in ways you cannot manage. Your hands do not need to be on every part of the story. Your job is to stay open, stay honest, stay kind to yourself, and take the next step when it becomes clear. Divine timing is not always comfortable, but it is often wise. It may not give you what you want when you want it, but it can bring what serves your soul when you are ready to receive it. It may ask you to wait, but it does not waste the waiting. It may ask you to let go, but it does not leave your hands empty forever. It may ask you to trust without proof, but that trust can become the place where peace grows. So breathe. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not outside the plan of your life. Something can still open. Something can still heal. Something can still arrive. Something can still become clear. And even now, in the waiting, the universe may be shaping you into the person who can receive the next blessing with peace instead of fear. The universe may not show you the whole path today. It may only show you the next small step, and that is enough. The mind often wants the full map before it feels safe. It wants to know what will happen next month, next year, and far beyond. It wants to know how every choice will turn out. It wants proof that there will be no pain, no mistake, no loss, no confusion. But life does not always work that way. Often, guidance comes one step at a time. The next step may be simple. Rest, drink water, send the message. Do not send the message. Wait, begin, stop, speak, be silent, let go, try again, ask for help, open the file, close the door, take a walk, pray, breathe, tell the truth, forgive yourself. The next step is not always dramatic. It may not impress anyone. It may not look like a huge change. But if it brings you closer to peace, it matters. Do not reject a step because it is small. Small steps are sacred. One small step can change the energy of a whole day. One honest breath can stop a reaction. One kind sentence to yourself can soften shame. One clear no can protect your peace. One quiet yes can begin a new path. One moment of choosing trust over panic can shift the direction of your life. The universe often uses small steps because small steps are where real change begins. Ask yourself, what is the next loving step? Not the perfect step, not the biggest step, not the step that proves something to others. The next loving step. A loving step does not always feel easy, but it does not come from self-hate. It does not come from panic. It does not come from the need to prove your worth. It comes from care. It comes from truth. It comes from the part of you that wants healing, peace, and alignment. Maybe the next loving step is to stop checking for an answer that is not coming today. Maybe it is to stop replaying the same memory. Maybe it is to write down what you feel. Maybe it is to take care of your body. Maybe it is to clean your space so your mind can breathe. Maybe it is to stop explaining yourself to someone who does not want to understand. Maybe it is to begin the work you have been avoiding for 10 minutes. Maybe it is to rest without guilt. Guidance becomes practical when you ask simple questions. Another powerful question is, if I chose peace, what would I do differently? Let that question enter slowly. If you chose peace, would you answer right now or wait until your body is calm? If you chose peace, would you keep chasing or step back? If you chose peace, would you say yes or tell the truth? If you chose peace, would you keep carrying this alone or ask for support? If you chose peace, would you keep feeding the fear or place your attention on what you can choose now? Peace does not always choose the quietest option. Sometimes peace chooses a strong boundary. Sometimes peace chooses an honest conversation. Sometimes peace chooses leaving. Sometimes peace chooses beginning. Sometimes peace chooses waiting. Sometimes peace chooses work. Sometimes peace chooses rest. Peace is not weakness. Peace is clean energy. It does not carry the poison of panic. It can be firm without being cruel. It can be brave without being rushed. When you ask for guidance, be willing to receive an answer that looks simple. The mind may say, "That is too small," but the soul knows that small steps build trust. If you cannot take the big step yet, take the small one. If you cannot change your whole life today, change one choice. If you cannot stop all fear, pause before one reaction. If you cannot understand everything, understand what is yours to do now. The universe does not need you to become a different person in one day. It invites you to take one faithful step. Sometimes guidance says wait. This can be difficult because fear hates waiting. Fear thinks waiting means losing. Fear thinks waiting means nothing is happening. Fear thinks waiting means you are being ignored. But sometimes waiting is the next step. Waiting can give the truth time to show itself. Waiting can keep you from acting from panic. Waiting can allow the body to calm. Waiting can protect you from choosing too quickly. Waiting can be wisdom when it comes with peace. But there is also a waiting that comes from fear. It feels heavy, frozen, and self-abandoning. It says, "I will not move because I am afraid." It says, "I will stay in pain because change scares me." It says, "I will keep hoping without being honest." The more you return to yourself, the more you can feel the difference. Wise waiting feels steady. Fearful waiting feels stuck. Wise waiting has peace inside it. Fearful waiting has self-betrayal inside it. Listen closely. Your body and heart will often tell you which one is true. Sometimes guidance says move. Not because everything is certain, but because the next step is clear enough. You may not feel fully ready. That is okay. Readiness often comes after beginning. Courage does not always feel big. Sometimes courage feels like opening the page, making the call, taking the walk, telling the truth, saying no, saying yes, trying again, asking for help. You can be afraid and still take a loving step. Fear does not always mean stop. Sometimes it only means you are stepping into something new. Say, "I can be afraid and still choose peace." Let that sentence give you strength. You do not need to wait until every fear is gone. You do not need to feel perfect confidence. You do not need to have no doubt. You only need enough trust for the next step. A small light is enough for the next step. A small breath is enough for the next step. A small yes inside the heart is enough for the next step. The universe often guides through what feels clean. A clean step may still bring emotion, but it does not feel like chaos. It does not make you feel like you are abandoning your soul. It does not need you to lie to yourself. It may ask for courage, but it brings a deep sense of truth. You may say, "This is hard, but I know it is right." That is different from panic. Panic says, "Do this now, or you will lose everything." Guidance says, "This is the way. Take it one step at a time." Listen to the tone of the message inside you. Fear is loud, rushed, and harsh. It uses pressure. It says, "Hurry, prove, chase, fix, control. You are running out of time." Guidance is calmer. Even when it is firm, it does not attack you. It says, "Tell the truth, rest, begin, let go, wait, choose peace, come back to yourself." The more you practice listening, the clearer this difference becomes. You may ask, "What if I make the wrong step?" Be gentle with yourself. Life is not a test where one mistake destroys everything. Even a wrong step can teach you. Even a delay can guide you. Even a turn that does not work can bring you closer to wisdom. You do not need to be perfect to be guided. You need to be willing to listen, learn, and return. The universe can work with a willing heart. The next small step may be connected to your healing. Maybe it is time to stop repeating an old story. Maybe it is time to stop calling yourself broken. Maybe it is time to stop giving all your energy to what does not feed your spirit. Maybe it is time to choose one habit that supports your peace. Maybe it is time to create space in your life so guidance can be heard. Healing does not happen only through big moments. It happens through small, repeated choices that tell your body, "We are safe now. We are changing now." If the next step is unclear, ask for peace, not pressure. Say, "Show me the next step in a way I can understand. Help me recognize what is right for my peace. Help me release what is not mine to force." Then become quiet enough to notice. Guidance may come through a thought, a feeling, a repeated message, a calm idea, or a simple knowing. It may also come through the absence of peace. Pay attention to both. Do not demand that guidance arrive in only one form, theme. A universe is not limited to your plan. It may answer through a person, but not the person you expected. It may open a door, but not the door you were pushing. It may bring clarity, but not on the day you demanded it. It may lead you through a pause, not a rush. It may give you a quiet inner yes instead of a loud outer sign. Stay open. The answer may be softer than your fear expects. The next small step is enough because life unfolds through steps. No one walks a whole road in one movement. You walk by placing one foot, then another. You heal by choosing one kinder thought, then another. You trust by releasing one fear, then another. You build a new life by taking one honest action, then another. Do not disrespect the small step. It is the place where the miracle begins to become visible. Say, "My next step is simple, and simple is enough." Let the words calm the part of you that thinks everything must be big to matter. Simple is not weak. Simple is clear. Simple is possible. Simple helps you begin. The mind may love drama, but the soul often loves simplicity. The next peaceful thing, the next honest thing, the next kind thing, the next wise thing. This is how the path opens. When you take the next step, do not keep pulling it up to see if it is working. Trust the step. Plant the seed. Give it time. Take the action, then return to peace. Send the message, then release the timing. Do the work, then release the result. Speak the truth, then release the reaction. Make the choice, then let life respond. This is how you stay in partnership with the universe. You do your part. You let life do what only life can do. There is a beautiful freedom in this. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to force everything. You do not need to carry everything. You only need to listen closely and take the next loving step. Again and again, this is enough. Again and again, the path becomes clearer as you walk it. Again and again, the universe meets you when you move from peace. You are not lost. You may feel unsure, but unsure is not lost. You may be in a waiting season, but waiting is not lost. You may not know the full path, but not knowing is not lost. You may have questions, but questions do not mean you are abandoned. You are being guided in ways you may not fully see yet. Life is still moving. Your heart is still learning. Your spirit is still being called forward. If this message reached you today, maybe it came to remind you that the universe has not stopped speaking. Maybe it came to help you breathe before you react. Maybe it came to help you notice the small signs. Maybe it came to remind you that timing can be trusted. Maybe it came to bring you back to your own heart. Maybe it came to say, you do not need to solve your whole life today. Just return to peace and take the next step. You have heard that the universe can speak through small things, through a breath, a delay, a closed door, a quiet feeling, a repeated thought, a gentle sign. You have heard that gratitude helps you see what fear misses. You have heard that divine timing is why, sees not punishment. It may be protection, preparation, or a deeper alignment. You have heard that the next small step is enough. And now let all of this become one simple truth inside you. You are being guided. Do not make guidance heavy. Do not turn it into another thing to fear. Guidance is not here to make you panic. It is not here to make you search every moment with worry. It is not here to make you afraid of missing your life. True guidance brings you closer to peace, truth, and self-love. It may ask for courage, but it will not ask you to abandon yourself. It may ask you to change, but it will not shame you into becoming someone else. It will lead you gently back to what is real. There is no need to understand the whole road today. The whole road may be too much for the mind to hold. If you saw every turn, every lesson, every delay, every blessing, every ending, and every beginning all at once, it might overwhelm you. That is why life gives the path in pieces. One breath, one sign, one lesson, one small step, one moment of courage, one day at a time. The universe knows how to guide you without showing everything at once. Say, I am willing to be guided one step at a time. Let this be enough. The mind may ask, but what if I need more? If more is needed, more will come. When the next step is complete, the next one can appear. When your heart is ready, the next door can open. When clarity is needed, clarity can come. You are not required to force the full answer before it's time. You are only asked to stay open and honest now. Trust that the universe knows your heart. It knows the prayers you have spoken and the ones you could not put into words. It knows the tears no one saw. It knows the dreams you're afraid to say out loud. It knows the strength it took to keep going. It knows the times you tried your best with a tired heart. It knows the love you gave. It knows the pain you carried. Nothing about you is hidden from life. Because of this, you do not need to beg the universe to see you. You are seen. You do not need to shout to be heard. You are heard. You do not need to become perfect to be guided. You are guided even as you learn. The universe is not waiting for you to become someone else before it helps you. It is calling the real you home, the honest you, the tired you, the hopeful you, the healing you, the you who is ready to listen. Maybe the word your heart needs today is peace. Maybe it is trust. Maybe it is patience. Maybe it is courage. Maybe it is self-love. Maybe it is guidance. Maybe it is freedom. Let one word rise in you. Do not force it. Let it come softly. That word may be the small key for this season. It may show you what your soul is asking for. If the word is peace, choose what brings peace. If the word is trust, practice releasing control. If the word is patience, stop rushing your timing. If the word is courage, take the next honest step. If the word is self-love, come back to your heart. You are not lost just because the path is quiet. Some of the most important parts of life happen quietly. Healing can be quiet. Growth can be quiet. And protection can be quiet. Divine timing can be quiet. A new beginning can start as a quiet feeling before anything outside changes. Do not dismiss the quiet. The quiet may be the place where the universe is speaking most clearly. Look back gently. There were times when you thought you would not make it through, but you did. There were times when the answer came later. There were times when life protected you from what you wanted. There were times when a closed door led you somewhere better. There were times when you found strength you did not know you had. This same life is still carrying you. This same universe is still guiding you. The fact that you cannot see the next chapter does not mean the next chapter is not being written. Let your heart rest in this. You do not need to chase what is truly meant for your soul. You may need to show up, grow, speak, choose, and act, but you do not need to beg. You do not need to lose yourself. You do not need to turn your peace into a sacrifice. What is meant for you will meet the version of you who is learning to stand in self-love. What is not meant for you can leave without taking your worth with it. The universe is calling you to live with softer trust, not blind trust that ignores truth, not weak trust that accepts pain, but wise trust. Trust that says, I will listen to my body, I will honor my heart, I will notice the signs, I will take the next step, I will let timing unfold, I will not force what breaks me, I will not fear what is leaving, I will not call myself lost when I am being guided. This is the way forward. Breathe. Notice, trust, listen, take one step, then breathe again. This is how a life changes. This is how the heart heals. This is how guidance becomes real, not as a faraway idea, but as a daily practice. You do not need to wait for a perfect moment to begin. You begin here, with this breath, with this choice, with this small return to peace. So if this reached you today, receive it gently. Do not rush away from it. Let it settle in the quiet place inside you. Maybe this message was not an accident. Maybe it came at the right time to remind you that you are supported, guided, and loved by life in ways you cannot always see. Maybe it came to say that you do not need to carry every answer. You do not need to force every door. You do not need to understand every delay. You do not need to solve your whole life today. You only need to come back to this moment. Come back to your breath. Come back to your heart. Come back to the small signs already around you. Come back to trust in divine timing. Come back to the next loving step. The universe is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to listen. It is asking you to soften. It is asking you to stop fighting yourself long enough to hear the guidance that has been waiting beneath the noise. Even if everything is not clear, all is still unfolding. Even if the answer has not arrived, you are still being held. Even if the door has not opened, the path is still moving. Even if your heart feels tired, it is still healing. Even if you feel unsure, you are not lost. You are being guided step by step, breath by breath, sign by sign. Say softly, I trust the universe. I trust the timing of my life. I am open to guidance. I am safe to take the next loving step. Let those words become a quiet promise inside you. Let them calm the part of you that has been rushing. Let them comfort the part of you that has been afraid. Let them remind you that the universe does not need fear to guide you. It can guide you through peace. And now, listen closely. The next step may already be near. It may be simple. It may be small. It may be softer than you expected. But if it brings you back to peace, trust it. If it brings you back to truth, honor it. If it brings you back to yourself, follow it. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not walking alone. The universe is calling, and your heart is learning how to hear.